Oh my god, guys, the wait is finally over. We finally get all the answers of everything that we've been questioning in the trailers. Like, why the hell is Michael Keaton's Vulture meeting up with Morbius? Like, what the fuck? And why is there freaking graffiti in the background of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Like, why?
I missed the part where that's my...
We also get to find out why the Oscorp building from the Amazing Spider-Man movies is just there. And after everything that we got in No Way Home, we finally get to find out who is the true Spider-Man in the Sony universe. Is it Tobey Maguire or is it Andrew Garfield?
What are you talking about?
And are we randomly going to see Tom Hardy's Venom meet up with Morbius and call him a pussy? Oh man, guys, it's super exciting. This movie went through multiple delays, but it's finally coming out and we're getting all the answers. But hey, you know what would be cooler than getting to see any of that?
I'm listening.
Morbius just jumping in front of the camera and saying, "It's Morbin time," and then flies away.
Intriguing.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Grandma's channel and welcome back to a movie review series. And the movie I'm reviewing today is a meme that I didn't go see in theaters when it first came out. No, I didn't. I went and saw Sonic 2 instead, and I don't regret it. And yeah, it's just, it was a movie that happened, it came out, and it's a movie, and it happened. Morbius. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because this movie is like a huge fucking meme at the moment. I didn't go see it in theaters. I was thinking about it, but I decided not to, and yeah, now it's out in digital and stuff, and I decided I'd give it a watch, see how it is, and see if it's just as bad as everyone says it is, and you know, give it a chance. And just see how it is, and see if it's maybe a lot better than what people say it is. So, what did I think of Morbius? It's bad! Yep, it's pretty bad. Yeah, this just feels like a movie Sony's just really quickly trying to make, and you know, just introduce this character to their little universe and be like, hey, this is a new character, and that's about it. But they're just trying to really quickly rush this movie, get it over with, and just so they can introduce a new character for their universe. That's literally it. That's all that the movie is. The Venom movies, they're not very good, and you know, they're not perfect movies. They're very, very silly, but at least in those movies, they have their really entertaining moments here and there. They're really fun moments because of how dumb those movies are. Just because of how dumb they are, they have their really entertaining moments here and there. But when it comes to Morbius, this movie's just boring. All the characters are boring, the performances are boring, and Jared Leto as Morbius doesn't do a very good job, and he's very boring in this movie. Whenever he's trying to sound funny or act funny, it doesn't work. He just sounds like he doesn't want to be there. So Jared Leto doesn't do a very good job in this movie, and this movie is just... it's rough. And when Jared Leto actually becomes the Morbius vampire himself, yeah, he doesn't really do much in this movie. He really doesn't do much, and he literally becomes the vampire in only 20 minutes into the movie, because that just shows how quick this movie is and how rushed it is. Yeah, there's only really one scene where he's randomly on a boat, and that's when he becomes the vampire, and he's taking down a few people here and there, and it's okay. There's a little bit of blood here and there, but there's this one part where he literally cuts a dude's throat, and there's barely any blood pouring out. You can barely see any blood. Like, blood should be going everywhere, and there's like barely any blood, and it looks really stupid. Like, they're kind of lacking a bit of blood here and there, and then it's like, why? Like, a movie like this, why would you like just not show blood? It's because this movie is not rated R, and they're trying to stick to the PG-13 rating, and you know, just trying to not be too violent. So yeah, really desperately trying not to be too violent, and yeah, it's a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's really it. The vampire himself, Morbius, he doesn't really do much, and he doesn't really help to make this movie entertaining. So that sucks. Let's talk about the villain of the movie, Milo. Yep, that's his actual fucking name. It's Milo. Yeah. Wow, so intimidating. He's played by Matt Smith, and he's kind of like Morbius' friend. He's also got a bit of an illness, and the movie continues to just move way too fast, and it's very rushed, and all of a sudden he gets the Morbius vampire powers, and he's evil. And I've seen a lot of reviews of people actually praising him as the villain, and I'm kind of just like, why? There's literally this really stupid scene of him just doing this little dance, and like, we've got like a CGI vampire face, and he's just doing this dance, and like, what the fuck is this? And then the scene just ends, and that's it. It just moves on to a different scene with Morbius, and it's like, what was the point of that scene? It just happened and then it ended. Like, there was no point of it at all. It just happened. Like, it's so dumb. The villain in this movie, Milo, was not good. And about the whole CGI vampire faces, it looks really bad. Like, look at this shit. It's in slow motion. You got fucking Milo running at Morbius, and it's like, why does it need to be in slow motion? It looks really bad. Why do you need to fucking show it off by putting it in slow motion? It doesn't look good. So yeah, there's a lot of moments where it's got CGI vampire faces and it looks bad, and I don't know why they keep doing it. I was actually very shocked on how predictable and how rushed the finale was. Like, it was so bad. It was easily one of the worst final battles I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Like, seriously, just Milo and Morbius were fighting. They got the vampire powers, and it is so rushed, and it goes on for like fucking 2 seconds. And not only that, the CGI doesn't look very good, and you can barely tell what's going on, and it's a fucking mess. And then it kind of stops for a second, and then fucking Morbius just throws a bunch of bats at Milo, and then Milo's dead, and then the movie ends. And then Morbius just flies away. And that's the end. Seriously, it was so abrupt and rushed, and it was terrible. Just the way this movie ended was so bad. So, yeah, and it was also very predictable. You know, the female character gets kidnapped and stuff, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this is awful. Yeah, so the finale of this movie was a fucking mess, and it was so rushed, and it was terrible. And, of course, those two after-credit scenes or post-credit scenes, whatever the fuck you want to call them, holy crap, they are one of the worst after-credit scenes I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Michael Keaton's Vulture showing up in the Sonyverse, and after everything that happened in No Way Home, it makes no sense. How did fucking Vulture go to the Sonyverse? He's not in the MCU anymore. Michael Keaton's Vulture, he's not in the MCU anymore. He's not gonna get his revenge on Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's not happening. He's in a different universe now, and he's all of a sudden wants to team up with Morbius to take down Spider-Man because he knows he has something to do with it. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you gonna do? You're in a whole new universe. How are you gonna fucking try to kill Spider-Man if you're in a different universe? What are you trying to fucking do? What are you trying to accomplish? He's got his suit from Homecoming. How? I don't know. He just does, and it makes oh my god. And everything that they were teasing in the trailer, like the Oscorp building and the Tobey Maguire and then the graffiti in the background, none of that was in the movie. They just put in the trailers to just get your attention and be like, hey, like, this could be happening in the movie. None of that shit happens. It's all a lie. One more thing I would like to talk about is a little bit of an interesting thing. It's about the music of this movie. It sounds like something that you would hear in a fucking Batman movie. More specifically, like The Dark Knight. I want to compare both musics from Morbius and The Dark Knight. So yeah, this is the music from Morbius. And this is the music from The Dark Knight. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with this movie? So clearly this movie is a mess. It's a huge fucking mess. Like, this is the worst movie that Sony has created so far in their little universe and their little Venomverse, man. This movie is really, really bad. It's just really trying to abruptly end so they can just quickly get this character out there and, you know, introduce this character into the universe and just be done with this movie. And yeah, just the main character himself, Morbius, is really boring, and all of the other side characters are really boring. The villain is boring. The violence in this movie isn't really that strong. Like, they could have done a lot more with it, because like Morbius is kind of a creepy character, but they didn't do anything. Seriously, this movie is a mess. It's very disappointing, and yeah, man, Sony really fucked up with this movie. They really fucked up. And would I still recommend you go check out Morbius? No, I do not. And that's Morbius. And that's going to be the end of my review of Morbius, man. Whew, fucking 2 years of waiting for this movie. Like, 2 years since we've got that first fucking trailer. And wow, it ended up being this bad. Like, come on, Sony. You were given so much time, and you fucked up. You still fucked up. Good job. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll just see you guys in the next video, because I'm gonna be a little busy at the moment. Put my best, put my 10, or put my spend, have sex, excel. That's what he does in the movie.